Let me sit with you for a moment, the way I would if we were at your kitchen table and the world felt louder than you wanted it to be. There is something I want you to hear before anything else. You have rights, not privileges, not favors, rights. And those rights do not fade as you get older. They get stronger. They become anchors when life feels uncertain. I have spent years watching seniors blamed for confusion that was never their fault and pressured into silence by people who hoped they would not ask questions. I have seen too much of that, and I refuse to let that happen to you. Let me tell you the truth, and let me tell it slowly, so you feel every ounce of protection that the law actually gives you. Some of this will feel familiar, because many of us have lived through the same patterns of pressure and fear, including the story in your file about Myra who paid money she never owed simply because the letter looked official. Fear met confusion, and confusion won for a moment. The law was always on her side. No one told her that. I want to begin with someone I met not long ago. His name is Harold. He is 78 years old, a retired machinist who still wakes up early out of habit. His mornings are quiet, a soft radio playing, a coffee cup warming his hands. One Monday in late autumn, he opened his front door expecting the newspaper. Instead, he found a notice taped to the glass, full of bold letters and warnings. It claimed he had failed to respond to a required update for his senior benefits and that legal consequences may follow. Harold sat down hard at his table. He said he felt something sink inside him, something heavy, something old. He worried he had missed something important. He worried he had failed to keep up. And he worried that at his age, one mistake could cost him everything. That moment is where the danger begins, not with the paper itself, but with the quiet shame that creeps in. I have seen that shame stop good people from protecting themselves. I looked Harold in the eyes and told him the same thing I want you to hear right now. You are not wrong. You are not behind. You did not fail. Someone tried to frighten you into silence. That is not your burden to carry. Let me tell you what the law really says about your rights as a senior, and we will walk through each one gently, like stepping stones across a river. And with every step, I want you to feel more control returning to your hands. Harold's story deepened when he told me he had been getting calls too. People claiming they needed his social security number to verify coverage. People urging him to act immediately or risk losing something precious. And he kept asking me one question: do I really have any protection anymore? Let me tell you the truth. Yes, you do. Legal protection for seniors is not symbolic. It is real, and it is written into state and federal law for a reason. Because people who have spent a lifetime contributing to their communities deserve safety in the years when rest should finally feel earned. As a senior, you are protected from financial exploitation, from fraudulent documents, from false threats, and from anyone who attempts to use your age as an opportunity to deceive you. You are allowed to take time. You are allowed to ask for proof. You are allowed to verify, to pause, to breathe. You are not expected to act quickly. Pressure is a tactic, not a legal requirement. When I told Harold this, his shoulders softened. He said, "No one talks to me like that anymore. Everything feels rushed." But the law does not rush you. The law gives you the right to understand every decision before you make it. And if someone tries to pull you into urgency, that is the first sign they are not on your side. There is another woman I want to tell you about. Her name is Evelyn. She is 82 and lives alone with her small white terrier who follows her everywhere. One afternoon, a home health aide she barely knew began insisting she needed access to Evelyn's bedroom closet to check for safety hazards. She walked in without permission. She opened drawers without asking. She took advantage of Evelyn's politeness. And when Evelyn told me about it, her voice trembled with something deeper than fear. It was a kind of humiliation, the feeling of being treated as if your privacy no longer belongs to you. Let me tell you what they don't explain. You have powerful privacy rights as a senior. No caregiver, no facility, no agency, no financial institution, no stranger at your door has the right to enter your personal space, your records, your accounts, or your private information without your clear consent. You are allowed to say no. You do not owe access. Your home is still your home. Your body is still your body. Your information is still yours to protect. And if someone crosses that boundary, the law stands with you, not with them. When I said this to Evelyn, she closed her eyes and exhaled in a way that made the room feel lighter. I thought maybe I was overreacting. You are not overreacting when your dignity is at stake. You are not overreacting when someone ignores your boundaries. Your privacy is not a courtesy. It is a right. Now let me take you somewhere even harder, because we need to talk about abuse. And I wish we did not. I wish the world were gentler. But I have seen too much to stay silent. Seniors face physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, and neglect more often than anyone wants to admit. Not always from strangers, sometimes from caregivers, sometimes from family. And the older you get, the more people assume you will stay quiet. But here is where fear meets the law. Abuse of any senior is a crime, not an issue, not a misunderstanding, not a family matter, a crime. You have the right to be protected from harm, from intimidation, from coercion, from withholding of your medicine, your food, your access to the outside world. And the law was built to protect you even when no one tells you that. If someone yells at you, isolates you, pressures you, threatens you, touches you without consent, takes your money, manipulates your decisions, or makes you afraid in your own home, you are not powerless. You are not to blame. You are allowed to speak up. You are allowed to be safe. Let me tell you about Sam, 76 years old, who lived with his nephew. The nephew controlled his bank card. He controlled his meals. He controlled who Sam could speak to. When Sam told me he felt like a prisoner, he asked in a whisper, "Is this illegal?" I held his hand and told him the truth. Yes, and the law takes it seriously. Sam thought he needed proof. He thought he needed witnesses. He thought he would be dismissed because he was older and soft-spoken. Let me tell you something. Your voice is enough. Your story is enough. Your fear is enough. And this brings us to your consumer rights, because I have watched too many seniors be pressured into contracts, memberships, subscriptions, and purchases they never needed and never asked for. You have the right to understand every agreement before signing it. You have the right to cancel certain contracts. You have the right to dispute charges. You have the right to refuse add-ons and hidden fees. You have the right to ask for everything in writing. And you have the right to say no, not today. When companies send intimidating letters or official-looking bills, they often count on confusion. Just like the document Myra received, the one that looked so real she felt she had no choice. She was never legally obligated to pay, but no one told her that. Your consumer rights exist so you do not have to face these pressures alone. The law gives you protection from misleading sales tactics, from dishonest billing, from false advertisements, and from contracts designed to trap you. You are allowed to question every word. You are allowed to take the document to someone you trust. You are allowed to protect your money the same way you protected your family all those years. And then comes the question many seniors are afraid to ask. When should I involve law enforcement? The answer is simpler than you think. If you feel unsafe, if someone has hurt you, if someone has stolen from you, if someone has threatened you, if someone refuses to return your property, if someone is impersonating a government official, if someone is demanding money you do not owe, if someone is accessing your accounts without permission, you are allowed to call the police. Not because you want trouble, because you deserve safety. Seniors often hesitate because they do not want to cause conflict. Let me tell you the truth. Abuse thrives in silence. Fraud thrives in silence. Coercion thrives in silence. Involving law enforcement is not overreacting. It is refusing to let fear control your life. And the law will take your concerns seriously. But you are not expected to walk this alone. You have access to free support services in every state, services designed specifically to protect older adults. Adult Protective Services, Long-Term Care Ombudsman, Legal Aid Foundation, senior hotlines, counseling support, financial fraud assistance programs. None of these ask you for money. None of them require you to prove you deserve help. And every single one exists because seniors deserve protection that does not depend on income, family support, or physical ability. You are allowed to reach out. You are allowed to receive help. You are allowed to rest in the support you have earned. Let me tell you why all of this matters. Because every senior I have ever met has carried a quiet fear that the world is moving too fast, that the rules are changing without warning. The systems built around them are growing more complicated each year. But the truth is this: the system did not fail because you grew older. It failed because it stopped speaking to you in the language of dignity and clarity. You did not fall behind. The world stepped away from its responsibility to protect you. Your rights did not weaken, they expanded. You are not a burden. You are not a target. You are not an afterthought. Your rights as a senior form a kind of circle around you. Legal protection, freedom from abuse, privacy, consumer protection, the right to call for help, access to free support. Every part of that circle holds you steady. Every part exists to defend your dignity, and every part gives you permission to breathe a little easier tonight. Let me leave you with this. You have spent a lifetime caring for others. Now the law stands ready to care for you. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to demand clarity. You are allowed to be safe. You are allowed to protect what you have worked for. And if any part of this brought you comfort, share it with someone you love, someone you sit with at church, someone on your street, someone who might be carrying the same quiet fears you once carried alone. Stay with me. This part matters more than you think. Your rights are not fading. They are holding you upright, and you do not have to walk through any of this in silence.